Brother, sister, where are you now? As I look through, right through the crowd. All my life here I've spent with my faith in God, the church and the government. Some say troubles abound. Someday soon they're gonna pull the old town down.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to match 2 of this week 2 of the SATAL Tournament 2018, where we pit TAW versus the 104th Phoenix. So the Art of War versus the 104th Phoenix. And honestly, Billy, I have no idea how this is going to shake out. I don't know who's going to come out on top. I think both of these teams can come out kind of undisciplined, but both of these teams can come out very disciplined to the point where it's just no contest in comparison to the opposition.
Well, I know 104th usually finishes strong. They usually start out, they tend to take a minute to get an idea of what is going on with the other team, and then they'll kind of adjust their tactics and move forward. I do, you know, my memory tells me both these teams are decently aggressive, much more so in comparison to what we saw. So I'm leaning towards the fact we're going to see a bit more action here than we just saw in that previous matchup. Yeah. You know, not having as defensive a team as, say, InSky involved here. So I feel like we're going to see things kind of pop off early on, and it's going to be a matter of how these teams weather the storm from there on out. I think the GCI is going to be crucial in this one. You know, keeping these guys sorted and organized is probably going to be a bigger factor than it was in that first one.
Hold on 1 second. Tell me what you think is going to... What's the determining factor for both of these teams to come out on top?
I think the determining factor, obviously, we'll beat the dead horse here, the altitude game. Managing your altitude, managing your countermeasures, and managing your stores too. Not popping off shots when you don't need to be, making good, showing composure, shooting when you know you have a good shot. That's going to be crucial here, as it is in pretty much any of these matches. But I think more so here with how chaotic this match might be, holding that composure and making those smart decisions is going to be even more crucial.
Right. I foresee this match coming out as both teams being hugely aggressive, both teams just really taking it to the opposition, and I think it's going to come down to who stays more organized during these very aggressive pushes into the enemy lines. And I think that the team that comes out and is more organized, able to maintain their shape and situational awareness of where their friendlies are and prosecuting the opposition is the one that's going to go.
Indeed.
So it looks like we're just about ready, and I think we're going to see a much bigger mix coming from the on the different airframes. So let's go ahead and take a look as we jump into the action here of 104th versus TAW. And if we look at the particular airframes that both teams are picking, we have a mixture coming from the TAW side, and we have, like we saw in the last match, primarily F-15s coming from the 104th, which is no surprise, honestly, as they are primarily 104th Squadron. But if we look at TAW, we do have a very mixed lineup coming, where we have 2 J-11s and 3 F-15s, and I think we're waiting on one more, which is Savior. And I think Savior actually is going to be flying the Mirage. I think.
A baguette. Interesting. Nice. And I think, as you were just alluding to there, maybe that was a factor in match 1 here that we didn't really, talk about in that first match, is how the fact that there was a bunch of F-15s in there played into the way that match kind of worked itself out. Just with the way both, the same airframe going up against each other can kind of, the same limits, the same, so on and so forth, kind of kept those guys moving in the motions they were, as opposed to if there was maybe more flankers in the mix or other aircraft, it might have forced guys in different positions at different times. I just feel like the fact that there was 15s definitely played into how we saw that be as defensive as it was.
Just trying to figure out, that is not where I want to be. I want to be right here. So it sounds like we got the 104th spooling up, and there are 5 F-15s and Singleton J-11, which the J-11 is piloted by none other than Stooge, who is a notorious gunfighter. So we talked about this last week, and maybe the J-11 gives him some type of more nose authority than the F-15 does, or he's more comfortable using the laser gun that the J-11 has, or the Su-27 has, in comparison to the shotgun spread that the F-15 has out of its M61.
That's a solid point, and I think we'll be looking to see whether we get some good gun action out of Stooge today. I know that's definitely a crowd favorite there, seeing him get in there and mix it up. Hopefully takes place today. I think we all want to see some nice close action, especially after what we had in that first one there.
Right, yeah, I agree with that. Can you do me a favor real quick? Can you slot in to a J11 and see if you can take jammers. I guess
Sure.
I can do that too. Right old quick. Just see if we're able to throw... Nope. Guess not. I don't know why. It's kind of unusual. I wonder if I can do that with the Su-27. Am I able to take jammers there?
What pylon does that normally go on for the J11?
Wingtip.
Wingtip, that's what I thought.
So if we jump into the flanker, can we take jammers? No.
Yeah, no on the J11 yet.
And no on... Oh yeah, you can. You can on the flanker. So strange. I don't know why they're encountering issues. Maybe the J11, for whatever reason, can't take jammers? I don't know. I never take with jammers, so not entirely sure.
Yeah, I don't fly the airframe often, so I wouldn't know myself either. Did we get a fifth for? Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh,
So
six, sorry.
it's primarily F-15s on both sides. We have two J11s coming on TAW.
Interesting. Well, we'll see how my theory about the first match, whether that holds true here. If that forces some similar situations and maybe keeps guys a little pushed back just because of the similar specs on the planes.
So Kaz says the J11 can take jammers. So I don't really know what's going on with ECS causing the problems of why it's not able to load jammers right now. So if we look at here, pods, yeah, it just doesn't have them available for whatever reason.
I mean, the bases are set with unlimited weapons, right?
Yeah, I don't really know why the J11 doesn't have it.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'd have to like specifically go in there and tell the base not to have them, right?
Can you do me a favor and disconnect and jump into a...
Regular J11, like a fast mission.
well, not a fast mission, but just like into the... like
Editor.
mission editor,
Yep.
and see if you're able to get into a J11 with jammers on it. Because I don't know why I wouldn't be able to load them. That's kind of strange.
Second while I load that up.
All right, guys, I'm going to throw you to another fan video while we try and figure out what the hell's going on. So just give us a second. We'll try and get this taken care of, and we'll be right back.
One day we'll return. saw a girl in the mirror, she was bolder than me. She looked proud, dressed in silver, and she ruled like a queen. But no matter how long I would stare in her eyes, I never not once saw me. I recognized my mother in the way that she smiles. Tell she's my father's only daughter by the sides of her mouth. But no matter how long I would stare in her eyes, I'll never not once, no, never not once stop.
Bogies appear to be coming, jinking to the right now, heading north. Good kill, good kill!
Never not once saw me. Never not once saw. Never not once saw me. Never not once. I saw a girl in the mirror. She was bolder than me. She looked proud, dressed in silver, and she moved like a queen. But no matter how long I would stare in her eyes, I'll never not once, no, never not once stop.
All right, guys, we're back live. Billy, hopefully we fixed what the hell was going on. Something happened with the quantity in the warehouse on the airfield, so I'm not entirely sure what happened. I think I've got it fixed, but we'll have to see if it plays out in the server. If not, we're just gonna go as it is.
DCS gremlins, man.
Iron Mike is saying they.
I already fixed it, Tech.
No, I'm saying like.
User joined your channel.
Right, disregard. They all changed. They all got in.
Okay, yeah.
That's because I already fixed it. That's because I already fixed it, and it's a known issue with current versions of DCS.
All right.
Have fun, guys.
Okay, good stuff.
Okay, so
User
I
disconnected
think
from
we got
your
everything
channel.
fixed. I think the warehouse should be good. Should have re-added everything to both warehouses of Sochi and Kataisi. If for whatever reason it's still completely foobar, then we're gonna just carry on. Because we want to see a show. We don't want to see too many fan videos and just me and the editor, because that's not fun.
The show must go on.
Microvax, yeah, I did end up getting the HD 800Ss. You probably just think I look sexy in German headgear.
I would tend to agree.
So I think we're fixed. TAW seems to be okay with what's going on. Jamming pods are good to go now. For whatever reason, during these updates, it fucks with the warehouse, and I don't know
DCS gremlins.
what exactly. Yeah, DCS gremlins. Just don't spill water on them, or they multiply.
Yep. This shit gets weird.
So hopefully it's fixed.
Hey, wake up.
Going forward. I just hope we don't run into any more issues.
Yeah, let's let's hope this runs smoothly here. It's certainly got a good match to show everybody. I want everybody to get to see it today. I think this is going to be pretty entertaining.
Yeah. So let's get the teams to spool. And we'll go from there. I wish ED was a little bit more... Nah, ED's fine. We're on open beta. There's going to be bugs. It's just something we have to contend with. It'd be a little bit more of an issue if it was on open release, but this is just something that we have to deal with.
So we're dealing with mostly F-15s. We got, what, 2 J-11s?
Now they're saying their base is neutral.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, I guess, guys, I'll be right back again, and I hope one day we can get this fixed. So give me a few
Almost
seconds,
there.
and we'll get this fixed. Praise be the DCS gods. We're back. Guys, welcome back. I'm sorry for all this hubbub, but I think we finally got it squared away. Let's get this show on the road. I hope to Christ We are ready to go. Man. Being a one-man show, it's not always fun.
Hey, would my chop live over here?
I meant, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Now we're happy. Can hear them spooling up. It looks like several of the 51st, 104th guys are actually taking centerline tanks. You know, wouldn't that be funny if nobody could rearm and it just had to turn into a World War II style kamikaze flying to each other, and whoever's remaining, that's who wins?
Well, they'd all probably get. You start out with at least some guns, right? I think the cannon's got a little bit of it, so they could probably get through the guns, and then it would be a matter of ramming at that point, timing, and ejecting.
Or you could take fuel tanks and you could jettison on top of other aircraft.
Fox 4.
Everybody's spooling up.
Thanks for the cheer, Grumpy.
Yeah, Grumpy Finn, thanks for the cheer, man. Much appreciated. Hopefully you guys are all still enjoying this after our small difficulties with getting everything figured out. So who we've got flying today, we've got Stooge, Spade, Mustang, Mogas, Blaze, and Fallen, with Stooge taking the only J11 and everybody else in F-15s. Squirrel, Sinnig, Savior, Red Core 6, Petlov, and Elif Row coming in from TAW with Squirrels, Petlov, and Petlov coming with the flankers on the TAW side. So finally, we will get this show on the road, and we will, I think we're in for a very exciting match 2 today for our quarterfinals, or the final quarterfinals for the tourney.
Today's been a day of build-up, so I think this is only fitting.
A day of anticipation.
Yes, yes indeed.
And we haven't had that many technical difficulties with any of this stuff throughout a lot of SATAL, so
Things usually
I guess
pretty smooth around.
we were bound to encounter somebody throwing water on the DCS gremlins and then multiplying for whatever reason.
Exactly. They're going to do it. We all know that.
It's just waiting for these guys to finish up taxi, and we'll get this show on the road. And I anticipate this going down much faster than it did during match 1 between RVE and N-Sky, because I think I touched on this a bit earlier, that a lot of these teams, or both of these teams, TAW and 104th, are much more aggressive than RV and N-Sky. You anticipate the same style?
I tend to agree with you there. I think we're going to see a little bit faster of a paced action here. I think, you know, what you get with those, you know, Chinese teams like Chinese Festival and N-Sky, like we've seen in the previous 2 weeks, you know, they're very methodical and slow paced. I think most would agree here that's generally the MO with them, and they seem to run that similar pattern. And I think, you know, when they face some of the more aggressive teams, you have to kind of rethink how you approach that. And I think we saw RVE struggling with just exactly how to properly approach that. And without that being in place here, I think you're going to see the point of impact come sooner and sooner, and with definitely a whole lot more ferocity to it.
You know, and something else to point out is we know now that TAW is taking jammers on their flankers. So do you think that them taking jammers on the flankers, something we haven't seen really in a lot of these matches, and we definitely didn't see in the previous round with TAW taking a jammer on his Su-27, do we think that them taking jammers on their flankers is going to play a role in today's matchup? Because the F-15 has the uncanny ability, whether this is proper or not, the uncanny ability to effectively see through a jammer, sort of. Maybe it's not the case anymore, but to get the altitude of where the bandit is. Now, whether that's how it should be, I don't know. But do we think it's going to play a role in today's match 2?
I certainly think we need to keep an eye on the 30-mile mark around some of these engagements, because I believe that's when the burn through really starts to hammer in, is after 30, at least with the jamming pods, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I think keep an eye on that, on some of these skirmishes, and you know, maybe I I think that might even be more so a thing to look at once we get to the TAC view portion after this, and keep that as a factor as we ask some of the questions of why this happened or why that happened. Was the jamming a factor here or there? And certainly in the initial onset here, maybe I don't know how that affects the GCI picture. Like, is that going to interrupt what low tech is seeing? So no, and I think with the presence of a human GCI and the ability to kind of rein in where these guys are moving, I don't know. I don't think it'll be that much of a factor early on. I think maybe once we get later into the match and the confusion and the chaos starts to set in, it could very well have an effect as guys pull and extend.
I think a lot of it's going to have to do with how they enter the fight. If they come in lower, they're trying to terrain mask and stuff, it may cause a problem. Maybe they're just going to try and hide some of their friendlies behind some of the other guys that are running jammers, so it's harder to sort. So maybe they don't care if GCI sees them. They're just trying to make it more difficult for 104 to sort their wing as they enter into the engagement bubble.
Indeed, I think that's a solid point. That very well may be what they're trying to do there. Just force the the sensor work on 104th side to be a little bit more tedious.
Second Eggs asked the same question: how is GCI affected by the jammers? I don't think it's going to matter, because like Microvex says, the E3s and the AWACS have so much power that it's just like, you're jamming me, and it just doesn't give a shit and just presses on through it.
That absolutely makes sense.
So still waiting on TAW to finish up Taxium. And hopefully we will get this all done. Microvax, you already asked me. Yes, they're HD 800s. I'm in love with the German hand-builtness. They sound so good.
I have definitely heard very good reviews on those. Even though
when I first got them, so the wires here for each ear cup, they disconnect, so you can disconnect them. Well, when I got them, the guy that I bought them from had them plugged in backwards. So when I was in DCS, everything was backwards. If somebody was in front of me, it sounded like they were behind me. And if somebody was to my right, it sounded like they were to my left. And it took me forever to figure out. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is the Huey in front of me, but I hear it behind me? Is this some screw up that happened with the latest patch? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, right.
But it turned out that it was just they were plugged in backwards.
That's hilarious. Yeah, probably want to consult the instruction manual before working with them. Maybe that's the reason why he sold them. Maybe he was like, these damn things.
Man, these suck. Everything's backwards. I don't know what's going on.
Sell them off cheap to somebody and get out of here on it. And meanwhile, Moltar picks himself up a sweet deal.
But it all worked out. We get the all clear from TAW, so fights on. This round one of match 2 between TAW and 104th. And I think this is going to be a barn burner. I thought the first one was going to be that way, but I think this one in particular is going to showcase two teams that are typically very aggressive, and like we saw last time we saw TAW fly, can both get themselves out of really shitty situations. Like I think it was Savior flying a Mirage that got TAW out of a very crappy situation and was able to come back and win the round in a very, he had the tables tilted completely against him, and somehow he was able to come out on top. So both teams, very capable, very aggressive. I think we're in for a show.
Indeed. When I realized that 104th would be moving on against TAW last week, I got pretty excited, because these two are definitely probably the most two aggressive teams, maybe top 3 aggressive teams in the entire league. So seeing them face off here is certainly going to produce probably one of the most entertaining matches. Let's hope.
A real quick question, since I've already seen a couple people say who they think is going to win. Billy brought up a little bit of something we could do next year. Do you guys have any interest, not in real money betting, but do you guys have any interest in like betting with virtual currency through the chatbot? Is that interest anyone? What are people's thoughts on that? You're not going to make any money or get rich, but do people have interest in that? Is that something that sounds fun?
And maybe at the least we just start offering out a poll, because I think it's interesting to get a good feel of where we don't normally get an overall feeling of where the audience is on the specific match. And I think, you usually get a lot of, what me and you think is going to happen. But I think, to get the audience's thoughts kind of in a quantified point, would be valuable, right? Nice to see who they think is going to win.
Nice, pretty departure coming from 104th. As they're departing in what looks to be 3-2 ships. A lead, a center, and a trail. And people continue to point out that it is very unusual, and I agree with them, for SATAL for Savior to not be in a Mirage.
I would agree with that. We've traditionally seen him fly in one of those, and it usually brings an interesting element to the fight.
But it may be the case that the reason he's not in the Mirage is because the particular area that they're fighting over, with the ground features, terrain features, what have you, isn't conducive to low flying in a way that the Mirage would be able to hold its own. I mean, you get into a head-to-head fight with an F-15 or a Su-27 in the Mirage, typically you're going to be outgunned. So being able to use the terrain like we saw him last time do in their last fight, this terrain isn't conducive to that. We've seen a lot of guys really try and push this fight out on the feet wet, which is exactly what we're seeing TAW and 104th do.
Look, they're both dead beat on for a showdown over the water here.
It's not conducive for a Mirage to come into this fight.
Yeah. Indeed. It's certainly at a disadvantage. You have to very carefully maneuver your way through the chaos inside that bubble there. There's no doubt about it. And I like Jabber's idea of calling them stash coins.
Stash coins! Or Billy Bucks.
Billy Bucks.
I might as well just let Billy do this by himself. I'm just along for the ride, evidently. Along on a mustache ride.
Someone's got to pull the levers over there.
Yeah, that's all I'm good for. I'm just the monkey in a box pulling the levers.
No, I mean, let's be honest. I think we're gonna see how valuable you are next week when I gotta do your match by myself. I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna be watching me stumble all over myself up here. So your value.
Yeah, we got to get that figured out.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
It'll only be one. It'll only be one.
I think your presence will be missed. I think I'll do a good job keeping up, and I'm going to be definitely leaning on the
Billy,
the
they're going to be so
there.
infatuated with the mustache that it's not going to matter.
No, I'm definitely going to be leaning on the crowd. We're going to be, they're going to be right next to me here in the booth next week calling this thing. So that should be a good time. So at the very least, you guys will watch me crap all over myself. So that'll provide some entertainment.
Well, if you shit in your chair, yeah, it's going to provide some entertainment.
Of course. So be sure to point that out if it does happen.
Now, what is TAW doing here? We've got a close to ship up here of Squirrels and Petkov. Flying nice formation. But we also have the other 4-ship kind of looping around. And it's almost like they're trying to hide this 4-ship back here of F-15s behind the jammers of the flankers in the lead.
Interesting. Yeah, the electronic warfare is certainly present in this match. That is for sure.
It's something we really haven't seen in any previous matches at all. I'd like to point that out.
No, I completely agree. This is certainly, from what I can tell, a first as well. I like it though. I like it.
I do too. But the problem,
this is thinking outside the box.
The problem is we're not really going to be able to tell if it works. Right.
Correct. But the thought is there. We can tell they're going with different strategies than we normally see 104th or we normally see TAW do. Correct. I think we both agree, both from formation and just what we're seeing overall here is rather different. I mean, look at this formation we got coming out of TAW here right now.
We're seeing interesting things coming out of both.
We got singlets for TAW right now pulling opposite direction.
You mean for 104th?
Is that 104th? Did I mix that up? Yeah, I need to turn my labels on. Yep. Oops, sorry about that.
God, what a noob.
So,
what a noob.
This fucking guy.
Doesn't even know his colors.
I would like to point out how clean looking that TAW wedge is down there.
All the formations from both teams look
Like they were ready for the playoffs here.
Baller.
No doubt about it.
There's been some work put in here.
Yeah, you can tell. GCI doing good too, keeping everybody wrangled in and doing what they're supposed to be doing right now, at least it seems. I mean, it's difficult to split these contacts up. They're flying so tight.
Well, and it's been great to see, when we're talking about these formations, it's been great to see the amount of improvement that we've seen from teams coming into this. And I think looking at people's formations as they ingress into fights is a great kind of gauge to see how far people have improved. When we first started SATAL, most people's formations were garbage. It was really bad across the board. But now, as we get later and later into the game, into the tournament, and we're in the final tournament now, but we've seen everybody's formations greatly improve. And I think that is it's an indicator of everybody's flying ability increasing, which is, in my opinion, fantastic.
No doubt. And I think as you guys have set up things the way they are, it really is conducive to see the results over this long span of time. You give enough time to practice and really work on things in between matches. So, you can tell these guys are really putting in the effort and work to kind of polish up what they're doing here. And we're seeing it right now out of 104th.
And there goes the first missile off the rails coming from TAW. And I'm not sure who that came from, but it's an ER, a second ER coming off the rails on the 4th ship of 104th, the Fallen Stooge, Blaze, and Spade. I don't think those ERs are going to do anything, but it did get them to turn around.
Yes, definitely was intended to push them back there, and that's both the J11s out leading for TAW. So we seem to have a very spaced out formation here from 104th. Altitude's all being maintained very well right now.
And I really continue to think that this is going to be much more aggressive than what we saw during match 1.
It's definitely already shaping up that way. We got this 4-pack from TAW coming up at 36,000 plus elevation right now. Definitely getting up there. Getting the distance between them and where.
And there is already a massive altitude disparity between TAW and 104th.
So these guys were listening in the last round, no doubt about it.
Well, Cotton, we'll have to see how this works out for them.
Indeed,
but coming in at 11,000 or 12,000 meters, you're giving your missile, when it comes off the rail, a significant energy advantage as it comes down on your opponent, especially if it doesn't have to go up. It's only going down, and that missile is going to reach its target with way more energy than most pilots expect, right?
Yep.
ET coming off a Stooge. We'll have to see how quickly TAW egresses away from the situation. We can already see them splitting up. It's almost like they've choreographed this.
Yes. Indeed, that group knew what they were doing coming in there like that. 2 7s out to bump back, and then a 120.
But now they've separated, so that lead 4 ship for TAW has already separated into now 2 ships. So there go the tanks for LFRO.
It looks like the 2 ships of 104th with Mogas and Mustang look like they're going to end up colliding here with Squirrels and Petkov. Might have an exchange here. Petkov, yes.
There you go. I thought this was going to be more aggressive than it is.
Well, I think they're starting to feel each other out right now. I think we're going to see this pick up here as we get these guys circling back in. But then we also have to keep in mind, this is the playoffs. That was definitely a factor. Guys don't want to lose this, but you got to be the team that wants to win it. And I think we saw InSky figure that out and start doing it, and it really was the deciding factor there.
Right.
And I hope we don't see these 2 teams suffer from the same fate of just not wanting to lose.
I don't think we're going to see that.
I don't get the impression we are.
I think these teams are going to be able to capitalize on what's going on. They're going to capitalize on mistakes that are made by the opposition, and that's all you're going to be able to, we can hope for.
Certainly seems the case. In 104th right now, definitely holding this nice wide formation as we're seeing something tighter. It's very similar to what we saw in the first round as far as each side taking a different approach here. I think 104th saw the benefits of that spaced out formation. Not that they don't normally run something similar, but are definitely keeping tight or keeping spaced with what they're doing.
Blackjack, you ask what bottom time is match time? Bottom time is when I started the stream. Just gives people an idea, an easy way to look at if somebody says, hey, this happened at so-and-so minute mark. It's really easy to find if you're rewatching the VOD. Just give people an easy number to be able to follow. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, you're good.
Another ET coming off the rail from Petkov. It looks like it's on Mogas. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna play an issue. No, I was looking through the tanks earlier on TAW. TAW all jettison their tanks almost at the same time. 104th, we look at Mogas. He still has all three of his tanks on.
And he's maneuvering too with them as well. Definitely in it there. Oh, another shot out. LFRO putting one on Mustang, but looked like just trying to bump him back. It looks like we're starting to get things mixed in a little tighter here now. They're pushing a little bit tighter on each side.
We are getting a little bit closer, progressively closer. And here comes an ET off of Stooge. It's on Sineg. Evidently, Sineg sees it, dumps a couple flares. Sineg, you probably don't need to dump that many flares, buddy.
He dumped at 122.
Sineg, you dumped like half your flare complement. But he gets away from that with no problem.
Yeah, as we were talking with the countermeasure management important there, that could come back to bite him not having those flares.
It very well could. As this progresses, if he gets into a merge, he may hit that flare button and it'd just be, I don't have any left. Shit, I don't have any left.
Yeah, that's always a bad feeling when you go to hit that button and you don't hear anything.
I'm really anxious to know if the jammers did anything. It doesn't seem like it from our particular perspective, but I'm interested to know if there was any type of weight added because they took those jams. Not weights, but like dynamics added that 104th had to deal with because of those jammers.
Well, maybe we can get ourselves an interview after, because I think that would be, we'd probably get a good feel for that from talking to some of these guys who were in that initial merge there and how they were having to sort through contact.
But it's like it's progressing into the same thing that happened in match one.
Well, what we're seeing now, I think, is the distances that they're extending are getting shorter and shorter. They're taking much less time to extend. I'm going to assume the altitudes are starting to get lower. Yeah, 13. He's coming back. Squirrels is on the deck, man. 1,300 and lower.
Well, and Sinnig and Stooge got within 10 kilometers. They both put actives on one another and then started to extend.
Yeah, but all the hot guys for TAW are on the deck right now. Petkov's at 100.
They're all really low. They are all really low.
Yep. And then we got everybody from 104th is at least pushing to, well, Stooge is low.
It looks like everybody's getting 20. Low.
Well,
104th has some decently high guys.
Yep.
And it looks like TAW has a couple. TAW has one.
I feel like TAW's trying to make them come down and fight on the deck. It's what it feels like right now. Like, it seems like it's a concerted effort from TAW to stay low.
Which isn't a bad idea.
No, I don't think so either.
We'll have to see how 104th comes at it. If 104th is able to maintain their altitude, it's going to be a bad idea for TAW. Especially if 104th is able to dive down and lose that altitude as they get closer and closer to getting into a merge.
Still just bumping each other back here. Savior putting one out, and it looked like Mogas just put one out.
But
one from Alf.
There are definitely a lot more missiles being launched during this match than there were during the previous match. It's just a ton of missiles being put out there, and I thought I lost somebody, but it was actually a missile. So we're still 6 pilots apiece. Nobody's really gotten close to taking down yet.
Not really surprising, too, because I think we've seen some of our better gunfights come from both these two teams throughout the various matches throughout the year.
Absolutely, for sure.
We might be seeing that today. Yeah, that's going to be good.
The 3 teams were it's come down to the wire the most, I think, are TAW, and Red Core 6 could be in trouble. No, he gets into a notch. He did that pretty effectively.
Look at the gap here is getting smaller and smaller. extend distances are getting even shorter. Here we go. A very close exchange between Spade
Yeah, but they're...
and Sineg.
See, TAW is actually using the notch. They're not necessarily turning cold. They're getting into notches. The missile is losing them once it goes pitbull and is therefore completely ineffective. They're not just turning cold. So they're getting low to utilize the notch. And that's why they're getting low, because you're more effective notching when you're low. When you're high, you're not as effective. You become more of a target. And TAW is doing it very well. Mustang's getting in here really close with several bandits. Sineg, is he going to be able to notch that 120? Are you? Red Core 6, where are you going? I don't know that Sineg's going to notch that. I don't think he's going to. And he didn't. That was the first casualty. He didn't get in on an effective notch. And now Mustang's coming in on the 6, or Red Core 6. But Mustang also has a 120B on his 6. That's a lot of 6s. And it might have the energy coming to him. Mustang, you might be in trouble.
But does he get another shot at Red Core 6?
But now we've got Mustang and Red Core 6 flying effectively in formation with one another, and they don't see each other. But Mustang sees him now. Mustang's all over the 6 now of Red Core, and that is, again, a lot of 6s. And does Mustang have anybody coming in on him to defend?
Negative. He's
Red
got
Core.
Petkoff coming in.
Mustang flew into the water.
Whoa! 120 out on Savior. That's moving pretty quick, but it looks like he's going to outrun.
There's just shit everywhere, folks. There's people, pilots intertwined with other pilots, and it's just... I don't know how people don't see each other. No, it's 4v5. But now Red Core's just flying low underneath people. He's inside the 104th line, and no one sees him.
Alfaro needs to get in.
But he definitely sees somebody 104th. There goes an AIM-9. There's a couple flares, but it's not enough. Oh, but he gets taken down. I didn't see by who, but it's now down to a 3v4.
They exchanged, and Stooge popped Red Core, I believe. Now Alfaro with a 9 on Red Core, and
Stooge,
2 9s on
Stooge may be in trouble. Stooge, I think, is dead. He's still in gate. Yeah, Stooge is dead. So this has just been a gladiator battle, just punches to the face.
Goes down to the north,
and now we're down to a 3v3 already, and there's people sandwiched all over the place. Is Elafro going to eat this? Yeah, Elafro takes one. So now we're down to a 2v3. Yeah, face fuck, man. There's fake fucks all over the place. This is an orgy of face fucks. Is. I don't even know what to say. It's just...
It is. 3v2 now. 104th still holding on to the advantage in this. Savior and Blaze now heading back in. AIM-7 out from Blaze. A late 9 from Savior. Is he going to pull out in time? And does Blaze see that 9?
I think Savior's fine. And Blaze is able to effectively flare that AIM-9. I'd like to see Savior and Petkov attack together. And one thing I don't like about the 104th side is Mogas is separated by several kilometers, about 10 kilometers from the rest of his group. So I'd like to see both teams reorganize, figure out what they're going to do, and then press together. Right now, though, 104th, major advantage having that extra pilot.
Yeah, they're fighting in a phone booth right now, too. They're not taking a lot of time to pull back and really reconfigure this. Savior, is it...
But I think Savior's in a pretty good position, but now he's having to defend. Does Savior have any weapons left?
It can Petkov hit Mogas. I'll look.
Savior doesn't have any weapons left.
Fallen only has one.
What does Petkov have?
Blaze is out. Blaze has 1 9.
Oh, Savior, you going to be able to get away from those AIM-9s? You better flare. You better flare. And you don't. Oh, but the meme machine of the F-15. No, he goes down on that second one. But... Fallen may eat this 73. Fallen, you better flare now, buddy. And no, 73 pops in, but I think he's still up. So now we've got Petkov is merged with 3.
And he has only guns left. This is not looking good.
And I think Fallen's on the 6 of Petkov. Even though Fallen's damaged, Petkov's all by himself.
And now Mogas with a far
But I think
7.
a lot of guys are out of weapons.
Right into this.
And he's dead at that 7.
Yep.
That's it.
He didn't anticipate that. Turn right in.
Hell. Wow.
Yeah, we as we thought that definitely
the floodgates opened and the face fucking commenced.
Whew, that was good.
Oh man. That was intense. That was really intense.
Indeed, it was. That was difficult to keep up with there for a second. They really turned the
I think we
juice
got
on.
most of it. I think I got most of that. Most of
Yeah,
the
we
casualties
hung
that
in
went
there.
down there.
They didn't make it easy on us, but we're definitely going to be excited to take a look at the attack view on that and slow that down. Ooh,
Definitely,
there's
for sure.
Petkoff getting nailed. I'm still on the delay. That was beautiful.
Oh, I gotta recover.
Yeah, for
104th.
real.
104th, man. The Minutemen. They don't go for endurance. They just go in it, try and get it done, get off, and go home.
Whew. Yeah, that was good, man. That was definitely good. Yeah, no, they lived up to the aggressive nature we had said was going to take place there, no doubt about it. Because indeed, Blackjack, a solid face fucking for sure. Indeed.
Woo! So now we get to see if they're able to RTB, but Mogas still has his centerline tank and is pushing 95% engine RPM. So I don't anticipate them having a problem getting home.
Yeah,
And-
just with the amount of time that took, I feel like we still got decent.
And Fallen may want
to.
to go to the bathroom as he's leaking.
Gonna want to put some gum on that one, but
Maybe a little bit.
good fight though. That was awesome.
I got to recover here a little bit.
I can imagine.
I gotta
both
get my second
GCIs
win.
are rather stressed out after the end of that one. That had to be chaotic for them to try to manage there.
So Mogas gets 2, Blaze gets 2, and some of the 3, the other 2 kills must have come from one of the guys that went down early.
I think Stooge may have pulled 1 or 2 out. I'm not positive. They may have got 1 apiece.
Dude, I don't know who got him.
Somebody exchanged with somebody. I remember that. Well, I'm sure we'll break all that down.
I didn't
in the
see
tech
who.
view. Indeed it is, Iron Mike. Indeed it is. Notice all the hearts coming through there.
How far back do we have to go? Mogas, how far away are you? 43 kilometers. He's going to be fine. He's not going to have any issues making it back to Sochi.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good there. Well, 104th gets the luxury of going into the second round with a game in hand here.
Yep.
They can afford to be a little bit
Yep.
more defensive and force the hand of TAW. We'll see what TAW does as a result of that now. Do they come out with a bit of aggression here, try to force 104th back, or do they sit and try to, not get eliminated, which I think we'll both agree only will probably get you eliminated.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even really comment on what both teams did well or not because of how fast that took place.
Yeah, it once again, we saw that gap between where the merge would be taking place get shorter and shorter and shorter, and it's it's like those 2 junkyard dogs. They're barking and they're pulling the leash from the owner and just getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden it just kind of happened. They tangled up and it went down from there.
Well, their owner just let go of the leash and just said, "Have
Pretty
fun."
much. Yep. Pretty
Hopefully,
much.
you come out without too many scratches.
Well, in comparison to the first round that had 3 almost hour-long matches,
Yeah.
we had a sub 20-minute match here.
Yep.
Interesting how these things can go like that.
I just like that there's such a multitude of ways
Yep.
that these matches can take place. You can have 2 defensive teams. You can have 1 defensive team. I mean, it's amazing to me to think about the number of variables that take place in a lot of this stuff, because you're not fighting in a 2D, not a 2D, but like on a flat plane where you take just on the ground with any first-person shooter or something. You're having to deal with enemies that can come from any direction, and it just, to me, it adds a huge dynamic and a huge amount of variables that provide an unknown quantity of unknowns that really keep us all at the edge of our seat.
Well, and I think that speaks to the competitive balance. Like, you know, I think we see out here how balanced this is for the most part. I know we can all nitpick on certain areas, and one might have this advantage and one might have that advantage. But I think at the end of the day, you really see a competitive balance across the board here, where I truly feel like we see the better pilots win in most situations. You know, 99%, 90% of the situations, the better pilot is coming out on top.
I wouldn't necessarily put it as the better pilot. I would say it's more of the team that is able to execute what they're trying to do more proficiently than the opposition.
Agreed. Definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Because you can have a bunch of the best pilots in the world, but if you're not able to execute and act on as a team, you're not going to be able to do very much.
Let me rephrase myself. The better group of pilots, right? I think that's probably what I meant to say there.
I'd agree with that wholeheartedly. Yep. And that's what we're trying to do in SATAL. It's squadron air-to-air league. It's not just air-to-air league. We want the best squadron to come out on top. The one that was able to showcase during that particular year the best performance from start to finish. And I think this is going to provide and show who during this particular time is able to come out on top, given the pressure, the odds, whatever. And that's what this is all about and what we're trying to showcase. And this is Mogas putting it down at Sochi. Doesn't look like he's going to have any problems. Nice smooth landing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all she wrote for round one. So, while I switch here, what do you think of that round? What did both teams do? What did both teams do well, poorly, while I get this tac view set up?
I do want to update the crowd on the airbase win totals for today. Sochi with 2 wins, Kataisi with 2 wins.
See, it doesn't mean anything. Means nothing.
I'm just keeping score. That's all. I'm just updating on everyone what bases have done what for
nothing.
Oh. I think what we saw was both teams come out with seemingly an equal amount of aggression. They both seem to have a plan heavily based on, you know, the initial onset and use of electronic warfare and how to employ those jamming pods. I think once they got close and in, I think the first initial engagement, we saw both teams extending back. 104th seemed to keep this very much spaced out formation, similar to what we saw out of InSky, but in a little different configuration. And then I think within about 2 to 3 minutes of that, we started to see those first couple engagements happen. And then as those guys kept going and extending back after the engagement, the distances that they were extending were getting shorter. The altitude they were climbing was getting lower, and they were just slowly just getting, you know, the urge to get back and fight was stronger and stronger and stronger each time. And I think that just is what just drew these guys in to that epic kind of battle we saw form up there.
Yeah, I completely agree. And before we get into it, I think what put 104th over the edge was when they got into the shitter, when the merges started happening and the engagements were so short, it was people were getting engaged and they were dying. 104th seemed like they were committing and staying closer together than what TAW was able to do. TAW seemed to be committing by themselves, getting into the 104th lineups, but 104th was staying composed, and this is just from what I remember, was able to stay composed and deal with these variables and things that were thrown their way by TAW. So right here is one of them. Look how deep Red Core 6 gets in here with Mustang, and actually Mustang splashes somebody before that. He takes down Sineg. So look how deep Sineg, Red Core 6, and Petkov are getting, but it's like they don't see Mustang. It's like Mustang doesn't exist. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect example of why altitude is important, because look how much higher Mustang is. He's at 4,000 meters. Everybody else is under 1,000. So they don't
control.
I can. Yeah, I can look at him. But this is just one of those things where if we look at how high he is, look how much higher he is than the opposition. I mean, you can see everybody here. And it's just, this is what altitude does for you in these sorts. You're very difficult to pick up by the enemy, but it's very easy for you to see your opposition. And because he was higher than everybody, they just didn't know he was here. And he's able to come in, kill somebody, and then turn away. And honestly, he was in such a good position that he could have killed all three of them by himself without anybody shooting at him. With no problems, in my opinion. No problems. I mean, his positioning, given his altitude, is fantastic. And really the only reason he turns cold is because LFRO is able to put a 120 on him that he's able to defend. So altitude right there, that is the perfect example of it being able to win you an engagement.
Indeed.
So if we keep going, unfortunately Mustang gets taken down here. He gets into a merge. What does he get hit by? Oh, he flew into the water. That's right. He didn't get hit by anything. He just flew into the water. So if we keep going,
blackout, I'd have to
now
there.
it's now a 5v5. And this is when Red Core 6 gets in deep, and TAW actually gets the, well, they don't, because they trade. So Stooge takes down Red Core 6, and who did he splash? He takes down Spade. So that was kind of a trade. We're now down to a 4v4, and it just kind of unfolds from here, where people are in so close, they don't have time to defend. There's a couple flares coming from Stooge, but at that point, he was still in gate. Those flares really aren't going to do a whole lot when you're in gate, my friend. You're probably still going to die. So if we keep this going, this is when Mogas and Fallen regroup. They splash LFRO, and it's just shit after shit after shit. Somebody dies, somebody else dies, and it's just ongoing from this point forward. So
yeah, that seemed where the situational awareness breakdown was right. Yeah,
right.
Briefly,
right.
Where you just
exactly.
Just everybody seemed to really kind of went out the window.
And right here, Savior sorts on Mogas, but it gives Fallen and Blaze the opportunity to sort on his mistake, not necessarily a mistake, but opportunity to then take Savior out. And this is how the rest of the match progresses. We're now down to a 2v1. Oh, he actually got hit. Blaze got hit and didn't die. And so did Fallen. So Petkov could have brought that down to a 1v1. That's unfortunate.
Wow.
I didn't think either of those guys got hit. Well, I knew Fallen got hit, but I didn't think Blaze got hit. That's really unfortunate. That round could have played and turned out completely different had them gotten splashed by those missiles. So let's move on to the next round. I think I still need to bring up the server. It was unfortunate of me of not doing that. No, I did. I did. I was ahead of the game. I did it. Oh. But I think what could have been done better there is I would have liked to see TAW commit more together and stay out of the actual formation than what they did. It seemed like they got in a little too deep inside the 104th formation. They were maybe a little too aggressive, and they just didn't have the situational awareness needed to be in that deep. But we're on to round 2.
Indeed, we are. And 104th going to this game in hand. TAW definitely going to be feeling the pressure here. They are looking at elimination if they can't pull this off. So I think you're going to see that pressure definitely play a factor in this round and how we see TAW approach it.
Yep. Yep. But are they going to take the... What I don't want to see RVE do is just... Not RVE. 104th do is come out and play defensive. I want them to take the same approach that worked during this round, and take it to TAW. And I want to see TAW do the same thing, because they almost had it. If they shot down or hit 2 of those guys at the end, and it was unfortunate they just didn't go down. The meme machine F-15... That was just unfortunate.
Coin flip ending there for sure. Yeah. The way that kind of panned out.
Definitely.
Once you saw both those teams kind of get into that fur ball, it was anyone's game at that point. And I think the same could be said for this round here. You know, once things kind of break down and they're tangling, it's anyone's match.
So let's jump back into the action here. Watching TAW Taxi this time out of Sochi. And guys, 104th won the last round, but this still is anybody's game to me. For me, I have no idea who's going to win round 2. Both these teams are so well equally matched that this could go either way. Creedle, I swear to God, I'm going to jump through this, and I'm going to give you one of my stretched out collar shirts, even though they're not stretched out.
I bet he's sitting there with a stretched out collar shirt.
I'm going to be one of those guys next time. I'm wearing a button-up shirt, and I'm going to button it up all the way to my neck. All the way.
Will it be salmon?
I don't know. You want to send me a salmon one?
I might have one. I think I got.
This is like my 24/7 attire. I'm all for sporty stuff.
Well, I think we're an unofficial sponsor, Under Armour. Shout out. You know, we like to be comfortable around here.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, while we're waiting, something just popped into my head. If you guys don't know, this is something you guys probably should be paying attention to. Jabbers is doing a F-14 giveaway. Here's his video that outlines what it is. Make sure you go check it out. Look into it. Jabbers has a fantastic YouTube channel. You'll learn a lot. I think it's one of the best DCS channels out there. I would highly suggest looking into it and maybe win yourself an F-14. He's giving away 2. I think he's giving away 2 F-14s. So go check him out. Drop him a follow. Give him a subscribe on his YouTube channel and see if you win. But if you win, you have to give it to me because I told you. So you have to give it to me.
You signed on to that by watching this, so
yeah. Because I need to buy myself a new shirt that's not stretched out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Street Sharkin, dropping the bits. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. And do check back up on the follows. Blackjack, Philippe's 101. Theirish tank, the fish tank. Kaysen, Nake and Jan. Thanks for the follows, guys. Much appreciated. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. What was that?
I said, did Street Sharkin just give us our first bet? Is that 5 bits on 104th? Is that what he just wagered there?
Oh, no, he's not the first. There's been some coming from Toast, has been throwing some out for RBE in the past. So it's not the first, but hopefully it's not the last.
Definitely. Exactly. Exactly. That EULA. You got to read the fine print, guys.
Yeah, make sure you read the fine print.
Everything you own, so
because when you win that, it has to come to me.
Yep. So you actually
can be my Rio
rights by just watching the stream.
Yeah, you can be my Rio, but it has to come to me, and you have to buy your own module.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to buy this the module. Yeah,
absolutely. So Stooge says they're taxiing. We're just waiting for these guys to give the all ready. And I have no idea how this one's going to shake out. I think TAW is going to come out on top of this one.
Ooh, half-inch soul was an interesting point. I think we should do a study of which livery has the most kills. There's probably a connection there, similar to the airbase theory.
God, you guys! No! No, don't do this! Because then we're going to start going down the road of, well, which airfield with which livery? Does the livery coming out of a certain airfield give you some sort of advantage?
We're going to hire half-inch, and he's going to be the first person to start the the stats department. And we'll just, we'll have to, conduct some testing. And once we get enough stats, we can kind of give you guys, some probabilities based upon livery choices and air bases, just because we want as much information to predict this as possible.
Everybody, when they fly on Blue Flag or 104, is going to be like, man, I want to fly at this airfield because it's been shown statistically that you win more coming out of this one. It's exactly what needs to happen.
The half-inch soul Bureau of Statistics.
Yeah. Well, we all know, guys, that the AIM 120s are better coming out of Sochi.
You got the better fuel mix.
Yeah. It's just how it works. The crew chief is better.
I heard there's a shaman that blesses the missiles, and that alone.
No, that's you with your mustache. You go there and you rub your mustache on all of the missiles.
Some mustache shavings on top. Bless it with a special mustache saying. Yeah, something like that.
Blessed is art thou through thy mustache. Feel thy blessings. Yeah, exactly. That's what needs to happen.
Jabbers has got it right. See, this is why you go to his channel. It's about rotation angle. 11.255 degrees for 7 degrees. You guys hold that, and you'll die a lot just like Jabbers. See, this is the kind of stuff that we're trying to put out for you guys to make you guys better at DCS.
Right.
You're welcome.
Well, the best way to have the best KD of 0 deaths is to just not take off.
Yeah, I like to sit on the runway. I personally feel like that's how I have a lot of my success, by just not getting in the air.
Because then, really, everybody that flies into the ground is a maneuver kill for you.
Exactly. And you know, you get really good at starting up. I'm super good at that. I would go as far as saying I'm like one of the best at starting up the Hornet. I mean, not the real way, but, you know, my way. I think Wings is a fan of the stash. Welcome.
Creedle says, sorry, Moltar. You do a great job, and I love your Under Armour shirts. Thanks for the $10, buddy. I know you just like giving me shit. But I gotta act like I'm offended, because then it's not fun if I just sit here and be like, oh, man, oh. It's more fun if I act like I'm offended.
It is a little bit more fun that way.
Sorry, guys. We're just waiting on 104th to get ready, and then we'll get going. Kaz, you know, that's not a bad point you bring up. What about night matches? I don't know.
Me and Jumper were getting our butts handed to us at night on 104th last night. It's not easy to dogfight when you can't see.
Chat, what do you think about night matches? Do you think that would be solid? I mean, we do it in the rain, though fighting in the rain looks like shit on 104th. Does some weird things. What do you guys think about flying at night? Different times of day, different seasons like winter and spring and summer and fall. Since I named 3 of them, I felt like I better name all 4 just to get them all. And I'm rhyming. Might as well be Dr. Seuss. Watching TAW depart here out of Sochi, and I am anxious to know if this is going to come out the same way as round 1. I don't think so. I think TAW is going to redeem themselves coming in here to round 2. That is how I think this is going to play out.
I think there's certainly an element of that going on. They probably have a little chip on their shoulder after that first one. But like, once again, I think we both pointed out that could have went. I mean, that was a coin flip ending there. I mean, that was, you know, credit to 104th for getting the job done. But I think that could have went a number of different directions just based upon the way they merged.
But, you know, Technitanium brings up a good point. How would we stream it? We wouldn't be able to see anything.
Yeah,
how do we even do that?
Thinking about that.
I mean, I could kind of do it. I could mess with the gamma so we could all have gamma goggles. But how would that work?
We could I'm sure we could mod it so where the night vision is full screen, so we could theoretically
just
watch
a full stream in night vision.
Vision, yeah.
Maybe.
It would get a little repetitive in green like that, but you could probably do it that way.
We all like green.
I wish we could get the cockpit views from inside each person's individual plane,
that would be
like
cool,
through the
wouldn't
stream.
it?
That would be cool. That would really be cool. Just to be able to watch what they're doing, how they're manipulating the radars and all that kind of stuff would,
it would be really cool if like once a year we could go someplace in the world and we could have these events on site. And then we could do that.
That'd be amazing.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
You guys keep donating.
ED, Thrustmaster, somebody, if you're listening, make that happen.
We will get there if we keep trying. That's for damn sure.
I think that would be dope. That would be awesome if we were able to do that. Have cockpit views from everyone.
Well, I think what is something we should also, I don't know, once again, I don't know if we've attempted this and where we've ended up with it, but getting the audio from the pilots. Once the 14 gets introduced, just the audio communications between a pilot and Rio, I think in this type of, you know, combat would be extremely entertaining for everyone at home to hear as this was going on, you know? But then again, it's probably going to be 2 guys just swearing at each other for quite a minute.
Yeah.
I know that's how it's probably going to be with me in the onset. Damn,
but Jabbers, yeah, exactly. DCS LAN party. I think that'd be awesome. It'd be a really expensive LAN party, but I think it'd be awesome.
Well, hopefully modern air combat comes out and we get a nice influx of new people and we get a little bit of that War Thunder crowd, and maybe Thrustmaster starts seeing a reason to start dumping some more money into the air combat flight sim world. And
Thrustmaster, this is how you demo your F-18 stick. You let us all use it for an esport, but you pay for us to go somewhere.
Exactly. Like somewhere maybe tropical.
No.
You know, or maybe somewhere like an amusement park.
We're gonna all be inside anyway. Doesn't really matter. How about at the Columbus Air Force Museum?
There you go. That's not a bad. How cool would that be in like an Air Force museum?
Have it underneath an SR-71. I think that'd be awesome.
Well, how would we even see the SR-71 now?
Well, I don't know.
It's invisible. Their stealth planes.
It's like that picture of that F-117 with just the ladder. Yeah, you know you can't see stealth planes. They don't exist.
Exactly.
They reflect all light.
Vanta Black.
Vanta Black. I bet you some plane at some point is going to be painted in Vanta Black. I bet you the new B-2, the B-21 or whatever it is going to be Vanta Black. You're not going to be able to see shit at night.
I wouldn't doubt if they're already figuring out a way to mix in Vanta Black with the Skunk Works paint job, you know, the radar reducing stuff. It's probably just a matter of making sure all those chemicals mix up right. I don't know. I'm not a chemist.
Is it me, or does TAW have a significant distance advantage over 104th coming out of their airbase?
It seems like TAW or like 104th took a little bit longer getting up. I wasn't looking to notice, but it seems like now TAW is setting up into this similar. I don't think it's going to be a 3 up, 3 back, but 3 different groups of 2 spaced out, that's for sure. And it seems like 104th is sticking with the maybe electronic stuff because they are staying tight.
TAW seems like they're taking a different approach this time. They were in a completely different formation when they were ingressing in during round 1. This song's getting a little annoying. But it was... We're seeing something different come out of TAW, which I do like. It's something... I like that they're changing the seating at the table right now. They're giving 104th something else to have to contend with instead of trying to hit him with the same thing that seemingly didn't work, I guess, out the way that they thought it would during the first round.
Indeed. I want to know what is 104th going to do with this change of events or change of strategy from TAW. I think my guess is they're working on that right now.
DCS is such a pretty game. Sorry, Sim.
Polar Mouse has a very good real-world F-18 pilots versus virtual F-18 pilots. I'd like to see that on here.
Well, guys, we don't want to embarrass the real Air Force.
Well, they're certainly making a push to move towards the VR simulator, you know, virtual cockpit stuff that we're seeing. I think the Air Force is definitely making a push to move in that direction away from these large one-to-one cockpit simulations that they've traditionally been known for.
Half and Soul, you're right, man. One more round. Right. We've been here for 5 hours. What's one more round on top of that?
Exactly.
Have we been here for 5 hours? Yes. It's fucking almost 3 o'clock my time. Man. You guys better be glad I'm committed to this.
And then listen to Sir Scorpion. Vanta Black absorbs so much heat that painted aircraft will be seen by an iPhone FLIR from 100 nautical miles. Oh,
iPhone FLIR. It's going to be the new military-grade IR sensor. The Su-27s, instead of their elaborate Earth sensors, are just going to have iPhones strapped to the front of the cockpit.
Russia just saving some money and also getting some cell phones out of it as well.
Apple getting some notoriety, joining the Air Force.
Somehow I feel like that deal might get blocked.
Maybe.
Just a little.
Maybe.
Well, it looks like we got 104th now spreading out.
But look how spread out TAW is.
Yeah,
look
very spread out.
Man. Look at that. It's
almost like they're trying to force 104th to do something different here and deal with this. Because you have to take into account Petkov and Red Corsic. And it looks like we're going to send 3 down there to deal with that and 3 to the north to deal with the 4.
If I were 104th, what I would do in this situation is I would just say, fuck it, and ram everyone to one of these 2 southern 2 ships, whether that be Petkov and Red Corps 6 or Savior and who's he flying with? I can't see it. And Sineg. I would send all 6 at one of them. And I think that is exactly what they're doing. I think they're separating Savior and Sineg from Red Corps 6 and Petkov. And I think they're going to send all 6 at one of them. And I think that is the correct way to do this.
Staying as a group and just dealing with the advances from the flanks as they come at you.
What they're doing now is they're sending Spade out to try and put some 120s on Savior and Sineg to try and push them off, while the other guys, Blaze, Stooge, and Fallen, the trailing Mustang and Mogas, all prosecute Red Corps 6 and Petkov. I think this is very well done. This is exactly what I would do in this situation. Use one guy to push people off and everyone else to commit and keep them separated. So right here, what I'd like to see, Stooge, where are you going? Stay down here. I'd like to see these guys come in here directly to the west and try and continually keep them separated.
3-pronged attack right now from TAW, though, coming in an aggressive format, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a 104th fight from the middle of this circle here and just keep swinging themselves around, taking shots at these TAW guys.
I thought 104th was going to execute that correctly, and then they just all of a sudden stopped.
Well, it seems like they're just circling now. They're going to run out of space to move here, though, if TAW decides to get aggressive and push this, which now is certainly the time. You got almost all of these 104th guys heading in cold away from other bandits, but then again, now they're also... Oh, there's a lot of red missiles out right now.
104th, I think, is in trouble. But Sineg may be in a world of trouble.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know. He just dropped a bunch of altitude.
Does he get into that vertical notch? Yeah, he does.
He split S the shit out of that thing.
Well done by Sineg to get out of that shithole. But 104th they're in trouble. They're completely surrounded. They have nowhere to go but to the southeast, and they're getting pressed from every direction.
It feels like it's 104th in a cloud of red missiles right now. Like, literally, it's just them and a bunch of dead, dying out red missiles. And now Mustang putting one on Petkov, but it looks like he's going to evade that.
Oh, Mustang! Oh, I thought he was going to eat that. But I think he got it into a notch. Haven't seen any casualties yet. But yeah, there's just this cloud, like you said, of red munitions sitting in the center of this engagement bubble. But again, 104th is just getting pressed from all directions. Given this situation, I don't see how they get out of this.
Well, it certainly, TAW came out with a big salvo and didn't get a lot out of it. They expended a lot of munitions in comparison to 104th just now, and if 104th can weather through this, I think if they last long enough, they're going to have more weapons than TAW, just based upon what we just saw there. I mean, you have to think some of these guys are pretty, getting low as they just keep firing. I'm seeing way more shots out from TAW than from 104th.
Yeah, I think they're fine on the munition standpoint. I really wish we would have seen 104th really prosecute TAW for making that mistake. Is Squirrels going to eat that ET?
There was opportunity there.
No, you're fine.
There was opportunity there, for sure.
I think they really squandered that opportunity, and now they're in really big trouble as they all turn cold, but TAW doing the right thing and staying hot and staying with them, not allowing them to catch a breath, and really keeping it to them, pedal to the metal.
And here's Sineg with a shot out on Stooge, and now Mogas coming in on Sineg here. We'll see if dumps out 2 120s here.
Yeah, and like Chad is saying, 104th now seems to have figured out what to do. Fallen's in a world of trouble. He's got that 120B, and there it is. Ooh. And he gets taken down. He was slow. Well, no, he wasn't. He wasn't slow enough. The camera just looked like he was slow. And he's the first casualty of the day, as I essentially have an aneurysm trying to get that one out of my mouth as he gets slaughtered by that 120B. And Petkov is able to notch that 120B that was coming at him. So we're now down to a 6v5 with TAW with the numbers advantage here. And I thought 104th was going to be able to... They've gotten themselves out from being surrounded, but now they're at a numbers disadvantage. And I don't know that they're going to be able to recover from it.
Yeah, this is getting dicey here.
But that
Very
120B
low
coming from
organization.
Mogas, head on with Sinig. I think he's dead.
Whoa.
Indeed he is. He put some gun rounds out. Oh, and he gets an R77 off. Mogas is going to eat that.
Yep.
So we effectively get a trade, and we're down to a 5v3. And now we've got a 77 coming off a Stooge. I don't think that's going to be a factor.
That's a trouble. And Stooge
But
has got
Petkov is in
train
a
of missiles on him right
fantastic position to come. Why are you shooting an ET for? That's not going to turn with him.
Oh, he fired that at Spade? No.
But Stooge has a
Petkov.
bandit all over his 6.
Petkov. Did Spade just miss him, or did he not see him? This is getting intense here.
Yeah, there's
all over.
people everywhere, and this is really hard to keep track of. There's an AIM-9 coming off the rails from Spade. Blaze is going to eat this AIM-9, I think. Yep. Not enough flares to deal with that one. Petkov gets away from that AIM-9. I have no idea how he did that. Here comes another... Nope, it went into the water. Another AIM-9 coming from Red Core 6 on Spade. Don't know if that's going to get him. Another AIM-9 coming off from Alpha Row. And that...
Petkov's gone.
He went into the water. But TAW is up 4-3. I thought they'd be able to capitalize more on this. Is Ella? Are they out of weapons?
I'm looking.
ER coming off the rails from Squirrels on Mustang. He's going to eat this.
Yeah,
he's definitely going to eat that.
Yeah, we're down to guns here for most guys.
Spade is now merged. Stooge now merged with Red Core 6. Is everybody down to guns only?
There's a couple IRs left. It looks like mostly only IRs. Well, no. Spade's down. Ooh, Spade just got shredded.
Sorry, I missed. Well, I saw him get shredded, but Stooge is the only one remaining for 104. TAW came in here.
He's got missiles left.
Surrounded them, and then pressed them to the wall and said, let's get this party started.
Stooge has 6 missiles left.
Well, I don't think that's going to matter.
Certainly got... He's pumping out flares right now.
He's going to run out of flares.
Right over his nose. Oh. That is all she wrote.
Oh.
And TAW just circled around that one quick.
That
Somehow
was
able to pull that out with 4
that was
fighters
impressive.
still.
4 fighters remaining. Man.
I wouldn't have thought they would have had that many guys coming out of this. That was impressive.
Once 104th got surrounded, they're just... I don't think they could recover from it.
Yeah, that was.
I don't think there was
difficult.
any coming back from that.
I thought I was with Jabbers there for a second. I thought Stooge was going to pull off one of these epic 4 gun kill runs or something like that, but no dice. They moved on him rather quickly. Yeah, that was pretty entertaining, gentlemen. We've got one more round of the day. One more round of the day.
One more round.
Match. It's going to be a good one because both these teams are going to come out and fight it out for that last one. There's no doubt about it based on what we've seen in the first 2.
Ooh. It's turning into some long days.
Indeed, indeed.
Oh, I'm losing my voice.
That's the beauty of the playoffs, right?
Just watching these guys RTB, don't think it's going to be a problem as Squirrels is at 96% engine RPM, and they've got a little bit to fly, but I don't anticipate this being any type of problem as these guys RTB back to base.
I'm going to have to agree with Dardo. That spread out attack was pretty mean. TAW executed that pretty damn well.
They did, and I thought 104th got out of it. I thought they were able to get away from it without taking too many casualties, but when they committed to these fights, they didn't commit together, and they went in one at a time, and they got their ass kicked. Stooge put up a good fight, diving and dodging all of those wrenches that TAW threw at him, but it just wasn't enough. When you're 1v4 and the opposition's just throwing an onslaught of 20 and 30 millimeter and missiles at you, there's only so long you can last.
Indeed.
In a Bukkake, you can only last so long.
truth. I think we saw TAW do what we had said we wanted to see them do, which was come out with something different and be aggressive. And I think that worked to their benefit.
Oh, yeah.
I think 104th definitely had to reconfigure once they saw what TAW was doing there. And I just don't know if they got a good game plan in place quick enough there, you know?
No, it worked out fantastically for TAW. They changed up their game plan going into that match. They were able to surround 104th. 104th, they got out of it, but I think initially they didn't know quite how to contend with it, and they took some casualties. And by that point, they were at a numbers disadvantage. The door had already swung in the favor of TAW, and that TAW was able to capitalize on the advantages that they had gleaned going into that with their initial engagement of encompassing 104th right south of Sakumi. So kudos to TAW for a well executed strategy there. That was really well done.
Yeah, they showed that changing it up mid match is not a bad idea right there.
Well, changing it up mid match, but also executing it well. So not only changing, but executing the changes very well.
And, point out to some of the squadrons out there who want to maybe get into SATAL, having, multiple options in your bag of tricks is in your best interest, because, once you get into a match like that and you see what you were trying in the first one didn't really work out for X or Y reason, you have something else to fall back to that, is very different from what the squad you just faced saw. So it's good, I think, to be able to have that ability to, okay, that didn't work, this is a much different look, let's try that.
Now chat brings up a good point. Half Inch Soul says 104th coming into Bull so late, he thinks played a factor. And honestly, now that he mentions it, it could have been that 104th hadn't gotten into their ingress formations early enough. They got caught with their pants down, and they paid the price for it.
Well, it very much so could be that, they had a significant less time to get set up and get configured, and you add that in with the look the GCI was probably getting out of TAW, and it probably created a little bit of confusion there. There's no doubt about it.
You guys are saying, what's up with this music? This is victory music, and it's Ace Combat music. Come on. You guys forgotten about Ace Combat? Come on, guys.
Ace Combat, for sure.
Fine. We'll go to rock. Let me give you rock. There. Happy?
I really hope Ace Combat has a hardcore mode.
I hope so. Jesus Christ. They'll probably fuck it up.
They will.
That game will probably be so fucked. I'm so excited for it, just to have something to shoot the shit. And that game's probably going to be completely fucked up beyond recognition. Oh my God. It's probably going to turn into some anime romance novel. With a side story of planes.
You like romance in F-22s? We got you, bro.
Yeah.
We got you.
You want to see how a F-22 romances an F-35? There's a reason it has weapons base. You want to see what comes out of it?
But nevertheless, I'm probably going to pick it up and
I'll pick it up.
Give it a shot.
Especially because it's going to be on PC. Come on.
Yep.
But again, they will probably fuck it up.
No doubt.
Oh, no doubt.
I think it's unquestionable.
It'll be bamboozled. We will be bamboozled.
Yep. You'll have 1,000 missiles and 1,000,000 rounds for your gun.
But you say we'll have 1,000 missiles. That's not unlike any of the other Ace Combats.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on.
That's true.
They had planes that shot missiles backwards. They had planes that shot missiles that split into other missiles. There was all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's an epic saga, right? At the end of the day.
An epic saga of planes that never run out of ammo. Oh.
Yeah.
Good times.
Indeed.
Good times.
I think the momentum is going to be on TAW moving into this last one, but I don't think by much. I think we've seen both sides shown that they can take control of this thing in a split second. So I think with that being said, it's going to be incumbent on both here to play this last one as smart as possible. I think maybe we won't see as much as aggression as we saw in these first 2 rounds.
Right.
You know, I think you're going to see maybe a little bit. I don't know. The aggression.
I think we may see more aggression.
You know.
I think both teams are going to come out aggressive here, honestly. And it's who is able to stay disciplined during that aggressiveness that I think comes out on top. And guys, honestly, I'm not even going to look at that TAC view because it was just clusterfuck. I mean, TAW got 104th got surrounded, and then it was just like shit was just flying everywhere. There was just a cloud of red missiles over the top of the 104th formation, and I'm not even going to bother looking at it. Honestly, I don't think we're going to get anything out of it. And so we'll just jump straight into the next round. Oh,
indeed.
Oh, you know another game, since we're talking about games, that I want to see, this has nothing to do with air combat, is Armored Core. You know what? You know Armored Core?
I feel like it's familiar, but it's not. Like,
original PlayStation. It's been on all the PlayStations, with the exception of the PS2. The originals were by far the best, but I don't even know how my brain in my childhood grasped its control scheme. I mean, using the left and right buttons, L1 and R1 and L2 and R2 to move your guy up and down, and I don't even know how I was able to do that. I probably sucked at it, and I thought I was really good. The AI probably was terrible. I'm like, oh my god, I beat him! And it was probably just because the AI was garbage, and my little inflated ego.
That's funny. I remember that. I don't think I ever played it, but I definitely remember.
I just remember playing it on a demo disc that came in a magazine for the original PlayStation.
The PlayStation Underground, right? It was like that. You got that disc. It would have
leave it to Jabbers to bring up Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure Suit Larry. That was another one that came on one of those demo discs or something like that.
But I think this
is before the days of the internet when you can go on and learn about everything in 5 seconds.
You went into Best Buy and pulled out the cheat code books, and we're sitting in the aisle writing down cheat codes for all your games you had at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 5 more minutes, Mom. No, that was definitely.
Mom, I'll just be in the video game aisle, and you just went straight over to like 101,000 cheat codes for all the latest games or whatever the hell it was. Now you have to pay for the damn cheat codes.
Well, I remember when I used to use cheatcc.com.
Yeah.
IGN or CheatCC. That was the two biggest ones. Cheat Planet was another one. Yeah, IGN was.
You didn't give two shits about all the spyware that came with them, pissing off your dad. Oh hell no!
Ruining your computer getting those cheat codes, but I was beating that shit. I know that.
You were already screwing enough crap up with LimeWire. You didn't have to worry about anything else.
Well, I probably sunk 2 or 3 computers at least on that LimeWire.
My dad would come home, just be like, he'd give me this look, like, "What did you do?" I don't know.
What is Morpheus, and why do you need to download so much stuff through
What? Morpheus? Oh, man. You're just throwing me back to my childhood now.
Indeed.
So, off of our childhoods, how do you see this going down? I see both teams being overly aggressive.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think this is where we might differ on this one, and we'll see who ends up being the more accurate here. I think with the fact that one screw up here on anyone's part means the year is over, I think that reality might set in here as we push into this last one. And I'm assuming who's ever doing the tactics for either side here has to be taking that into account. And you don't want to be the guy that pushes the aggressive tactics that causes your team to be going home early. So I think you're going to see maybe a little bit of apprehension, at least initially. I think you might be right. We're going to get that big fur ball. It's going to be a clusterfuck, and we're going to probably have a tough time, sorting who does what in it. But I think it's going to take a little longer to get to that point this time.
You think so?
At least I feel that way. Maybe that's just me making the moment.
I'm just going to maintain devil's advocate and just, I think somebody smells blood.
We certainly saw TAW smell blood in that last one. I mean, all of a sudden I looked up and there was 4 red planes circling nothing, like a bunch of sharks.
Effectively took that as like the males chasing the females, smelling the females being in heat. It surrounded them, and then there was no getting away.
Face fucks. It was just face fucks from there on out.
I wasn't going to go that far again, but you just had to take it there again.
It just felt like a good
Guys, I hope you know this is a mature channel. If there's any kids watching, I'm sorry.
My apologies as well.
But no, it's not going to get better.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, the sound of them warming up is always nice.
I think it's going to come down to whoever the most aggressive team is that's able to capitalize on the other team's mistakes. And again, during that round, 104th just screwed up in my point of view. They had the opportunity to press the Southern 2 ship from TAW, and they just did not do it.
Well, I think they got trapped at that point. I think at that point, when that had already started to take place, I think the deterioration had already begun, and it was too late at that point. You know, once they kind of realized what was going on, they were already surrounded and having to kind of deal with that situation.
But I think if they would have sent their entire group down to the south, they wouldn't have had to worry about it, because when you do stuff like that, you can't just separate. Which initially I thought they were just sending Fallen or whoever it was to push everybody else off, but they were actually going up there to engage them. And when they did that, they kind of threw away the opportunity that they had to attack the separated element that was the TAW Southern 2 ship. And
no, I agree.
They threw that away.
You're absolutely right by pointing out when there was one 2 ship that was much more separated than the other 2 on TAW, and at that point, that was where 104th should have pounced and forced those other 2 groups to have to come back down south to go meet that 6th ship that was taking on the 2 flag. I think you're right. You would have forced TAW's hand a whole lot harder and broken up what they were trying to do there. No, you're right. You're
sow
absolutely
confusion
right.
into the ranks, right? And if they would have been able to get that 2 ship isolated, they could have effectively just made that 2 ship run away. They would have given pursuit. Yeah, the other TAW members would have followed them, but they could have driven that Southern 2 ship into the outside of the bubble and made them recommit into them, and then they just would have died, and then it would have been a 6v4. At least that's how I see that whole thing going down.
Now, is there a protocol in place if we get a draw out of this match? Are we having a sudden death, or we just push another round?
Yeah. It'll just keep going until it'll be a sudden death. It's not written anywhere, but that's what has to go down.
Basically, yeah, what we're going to do. Okay, everybody.
Yep. So if this is a draw, somehow, which we have had a draw.
Yep.
We have had draws. If this is a draw, there will be a sudden death round, because obviously we can't just, hey guys, you drew. We're done.
Draw straws.
Yeah.
Sorry about your luck.
Yeah. All right, guys, whoever jettisons their tanks the fastest is the winner. No, there'll be another round.
What you should do is just send one plane from each side up with guns.
We could, but that's not a bad idea, and we should do that next year, but it's not written anywhere.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
We would just have to do another round.
Yep.
Can I put the giveaway stuff up? I guess. Hold on. There you go.
Boom. Bunch of good stuff coming up for you guys.
There is.
A few people are going to be going home with a bunch of cool shit.
A lot of people are going to be going home with shit. Now, the only thing I ask with these giveaways, guys, is for whoever wins the stick, it'd be nice if you help with shipping. I'm leaving this open for the entire world, so I ask if you could help with shipping. Just think about it. But obviously the modules you don't have to really worry about shipping or anything, and honestly the push through detents aren't that big of a deal. But we got a lot of stuff. And
if you win the F-14, I have to be your Rio at all times.
No, you have to be the pilot, and they have to buy another module to be your Rio. We've already established this, Billy.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's right. There's a plan in place. We'll be good.
Come on, TAW.
Have to get me and you up in that thing on a stream.
Say again.
I said we're gonna have to get me and you up in that F-14 on a stream one day. Just doing our thing, flying her up.
What at least Yog and I are talking about, because we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a dual stream, or like a split stream, both perspectives of pilot and Rio.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So that's coming.
Cool.
Combs, can you win multiple? Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I'm going to do a giveaway for each one, so you can either enter them or not. Yeah, there's no reason you can't win them all or win multiple. Because I want people to be able to choose what giveaways they enter, right? Because if you don't have a Warthog, I don't want you to feel like if you win a push through detent, that you've got to get that. If you don't have a Warthog, it doesn't really do anything for you. So you can enter as many as you want, and I'll discuss details and stuff as we get further along. I'll say something like if you win a module, you probably won't be able to win another module, but if you want to push through detent or something, there's no reason you can't win something else. Still waiting on TAW. 104th is ready. Just waiting on TAW to be ready. Second eggs, I would hope one person doesn't win everything, because that would point the finger at me having a rigged giveaway. And I say all this, and then one person's going to win everything, and everybody's going to look at me like, fucking cheater.
I always am fearful of that when I run multiple contests. Like, I gotta make sure the same person doesn't win this twice here, because that's just gonna look rigged.
Kaz, BFL, I can't, man. I got stuff I gotta do after this. I got a kiddo birthday party. Not my kiddo. I gotta take him to a birthday party, and then I gotta get donuts at the cider mill. It's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna get fat.
On the other hand, we'll be pulling a blue flag all-nighter. Just throwing that out there. I'm kind of planning on doing that.
Seeing if they're ready, and we will get round 3 of match 4 of SATAL 2018 underway. And man, it's been a doozy. Well, Varial, why wouldn't I win everything? I should be entitled to everything.
Agreed.
Obviously.
It's not the way the world works.
Then what I'm going to do when I do win everything, I'm going to put a table behind me. Right? There's going to be a table back here, and I'm just going to showcase everything that I've won. I'm not going to do anything with it. It's just going to sit back there. That's all it's going to do.
Look at all my cool shit.
Jabbers drops 100 bits and says, I'm going to win. Right? Wink, wink, wink.
And Jabbers lays 100-bit bet on himself for today's round.
Yeah. And I liked, when I just winked, I looked like an idiot winking. Like my whole right side of my face moved when I winked. Jabbers, if you give me enough money, I don't see why you can't win. Everything has a price.
Malta, they want you to say hi to Joe for his birthday
Joe?
on stream. Apparently not me, though. I'm not going to say...
Nobody gives a shit about you and your mustache.
Apparently not.
Joe! Happy birthday, motherfucker. I'm sorry if you're a kid and I just said that, but happy birthday. Hope it's an awesome one. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. Maybe you're Bullet's son or somebody, but I hope you're not too young, and I'm just oh God. But happy birthday, buddy. Hopefully it's a good one. Another day closer to death. TAW, are you ready? TAW's ready.
Let's get it on.
Fight's on. Round 3. This is the deciding factor. We've had round 3s in both matches.
Oh, Iron Mike points out a good little factoid there. Don't forget, right now the F-14 is on pre-sale, guys. Pick yourselves up a copy. There's also a dual copy for those of you looking to get you're covering yourself and your Rio there. You can save a little bit of money.
Iron Mike, I'd just like to point out that if you want to advertise the F-14 in this stream, I need free F-14s.
It's gonna cost you.
So 104th departing out of Sochi, and Billy, we've said this repeatedly, I have no idea how this is going to go down.
Well, let's see. Sochi won the last one and is currently on the lead for the day. So, statistically speaking, I didn't get a chance to consult Half Inch on this, but I'm going to say that 104th has the advantage just because they're flying out of Sochi.
I hate you. And Jabbers, we're not exhausted, man. We're just having fun. I think as the stream goes on, we just get looser and looser, having more fun. More because we've talked about a lot of stuff and we're starting to run out of things to talk about. So we're just going, we're just happy. We're having fun. But shout outs, since Iron Mike dropped that and says, you know, guys, don't forget that the F-14's on pre-sale. Shout outs to Heat Blur with everything that they've done man, Iron Mike, everything that you and Heapler have done for this wouldn't be really possible. And I look forward to the next time we have you on stream. Everything that you guys have contributed towards this, the prize pool, the giveaways, it's been a pleasure to work with you guys. I look forward to doing it in the future, and I really hope, and it seems like it's already going, that the F-14 has a fantastic launch and you guys are able to continue and use this as a platform to make bigger and even better modules like the F-14D.
I don't know if there's CG awards out there, but I hope y'all win something for that thing because you definitely deserve it.
God damn it, Jabbers. I'm not always loose. I was tighter when I was young.
Loose collar.
Loose collar. Yeah. So we're just watching these guys ingress, and I don't know what 104's doing. What are Mustang and Mogas doing? Where are they going?
They're certainly taking a different approach than what they took that first, or the first and second round. So let's see up here what 100. I got mixed up there. So yeah, 104th is definitely doing some unorthodox stuff right now, sending Mustang and Mogas north into the mountain, and we got TAW pushing straight out to the water here, not wanting anything to do with those mountains. So it looks like.
But again, it's like the team, well, never mind, completely forget what I was going to say. So I was going to say that the team coming out of Sochi seems to have an easier time getting to the center of the bubble, but I was thinking that they were coming out of Senaki and not Kataisi, so they're about equidistant away from their departing air bases. I got to catch up on chat while these guys are ingressing into the AO. Arbalsar, I don't think ED needs to learn necessarily from Heapler. I think ED's doing a much better job than they have in the past. I think other third-party developers could take a page out of the Heapler book. I mean, for sure. Heapler is just... They're putting another level on the pedestal for what you should do as a third-party developer here.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
No question.
I think that's needed. It was needed too. So it's nice to see the bar get raised, and let's hope a lot of these other companies can continue to try to meet that. You know, because that bar is certainly high, and I like where it's at. Put it that way.
And Alex, thanks, man. Much appreciated. I just hope you guys are enjoying what you guys are watching. Even if you guys weren't here, part of this event, I just hope that you guys at Heapler and everybody else watching is enjoying what's going on.
I'm really glad they made the t-shirts available like individually, because I bought the 2-pack, and then I think I bought 2 or 3 of the t-shirts now. So I'm
just sad that I don't have a t-shirt to wear.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to have one on right now. All right, Mike,
I'm just kidding. Them here, right? I'm just kidding. People would be upset.
Everyone loves my NASA shirt.
People would be upset if I didn't have my loose collar. It wouldn't work.
Have to stretch the collar, right? And that wouldn't be a good.
And you know what's going to happen is if I buy a shirt from Heapler, they're going to stretch the collar out for me before it gets me.
Just put a bowling ball through there a few times. It'd be good.
That's probably what would end up happening.
Oh, we're getting close to the merge here, or closer, I should say. It looks like 104 is starting to separate.
Separation is down to 115 kilometers. Sorry for cutting you off there, buddy.
No, you're good. You're good. And it looks like TAW now looking like they're going to pull into that similar formation that they did before. We're seeing it from a different angle now. Although Savior and Sineg might be pulling back around towards the rear of Squirrels and Alpha Row. Tough to tell there.
I think we're going to see the same type of formation that we did in round 2 out of TAW. This is exactly what they did during round 2. If you remember, in round 1, they had a 2-ship leading the way with their flankers, with the jammers. Then they had that 4-ship coming and like trying to jam a hole up the middle behind the jammers. That didn't seem to work out. And this is exactly what we saw during round 2, where they separated and effectively encompassed 104th in a net.
Agreed, and I think that was one of the key factors for them that last round, was their ability to do that as quickly and as effectively as they did. And we'll see here what 104th has prepared to combat that. I get the feeling they're not going to fall into that trap 2 times in a row.
But I don't know where Mogas and Mustang are going. I'm not entirely sure where they're going.
According to my airbase theory, this would be 104th. Well,
God.
104th.
I'm gonna. But you're never gonna let me down. Let me live it down if that's what happens. It's not gonna happen.
I mean, we will certainly have case one for proving my theory correct.
You're just gonna be like, hey, Multi, remember that one time? That one time when I said that this was gonna happen, and that's exactly what happened? Remember?
Mark the tape. I'm coming back to this one.
Oh man.
You know, but I think if we remember, 104th versus TAW in the playoffs, Sochi was the dominant factor.
Was the what?
I said it'll go something like that. You know, we'll be talking, and I'll be like, "Oh, remember that playoff round of 104th versus TAW where Sochi was the dominant factor."
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
3 years from now, you'll be like, "Hey,
right.
Ryan, you remember that time I was wearing that NASA shirt and rocking that awesome mustache before my beard hair turned gray? I was right.
Well.
Sochi always came out on top."
Well, if maybe we can get some sort of sponsor as I progress in age, and we can get that, you know, what is it, the hair color for men club or something
Touch
like
of gray
that.
or something.
Your beard is weird. Your stash is trash. I don't know if you guys remember that commercial, but that was a classic.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I think we're seeing the same formation come out of TAW, and I feel like we're seeing... I don't know what we're seeing from 104th. I don't know what this is.
I think they're trying to stay spread out and maybe just make what TAW is trying to do here more difficult. Just not allow them to really get that.
But what I want to see, and they can do it again. What I want to see from this round, I want to see this 4-ship right here, Mustang, Mogas, Spade, and Fallen, press Alpha Row and Squirrels. I want to see Fallen get in here, get into the south of this 2-ship, and keep them separated from the rest of the TAW team.
Well, there's no doubt they should be trying to maybe single out and set this up into a 2v2v2 and try to separate TAW out a little further.
I don't want to see it a 2v2v2. I want to see it a 4v2 and a 4v2. I want to see 104th be able to separate and get them away and then be able to kill them while the other two are, you know, maybe taking some long prodding shots just to keep them defensive and away. That's what I really want to see. I don't want to see a 2v2v2 because then you're coming in at 50-50 odds, and you don't really want to enter engagements at 50-50. You want to enter engagements at 90-10, where you can just kick the shit out of the other team because you have overwhelming supremacy coming into the engagement.
And here we go. They're exchanging now up to the north here. Alpha Row and Squirrels with Spade and Fall.
But I don't think that's what's going to happen.
No, it looks like...
Absolutely not.
Those are going to fall short for sure.
I don't think that's going to happen at all. Which is unfortunate, because I think the opportunity was there.
Indeed, it was.
It's just not... I guess it's not recognized. And we're, again, in a much better position to recognize when this stuff is open. Excuse me. When this door is open.
120 out from Mustang and...
What's that separation?
Moga.
Yeah, they're fine. Sineg's going to defend. They're just going to split us and get away. And
about 10 miles.
It doesn't matter. But Halfling Soul, man, you're exactly right. Fuck the fair fight. When you come into these engagements, and this is what people forget in DCS. In air combat, you don't want a fair fight. You want to rail the other team, because that means you're not going to die. Because when you die, you're dead, and there's no coming back from being dead, especially in these particular situations. Tricks. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna answer him with there is no TAC view today for this.
No, not today. We were running into some trouble with the TAC view. It was decreasing the stream quality of the main stream, so I'm gonna bring it back next year when we can kind of orient ourselves a little bit better to make it a little bit better. I might have a dedicated TAC view PC that's able to not decrease the stream quality that you guys see on the main stream.
Yeah, I think if you give me and Moltar a full off season here together to work on this thing and kind of add some cool little features, things like what Jabbers was working on with the overlay, what you guys see next year is going to be pretty cool.
And guys, if you're just tuning in, or before that conversation took place with Jabbers. Jabbers is working on an overlay for the stream that is going to provide information like weapon status, fuel stage. Oh, what just happened? Holy crap! I was just randomly watching that, and he just got boned by that missile coming in on his left flank. Man,
snuck one out from that J11, that silent ET or ER. I'm not sure what that was.
And I just missed clicking on that TAW guy, so we're now down to effectively a 5v5. I don't know what happened there. I think it was ETs on both sides.
Yep.
Damn. That actually kind of...
Silent killer.
That made my butt pucker a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. We were not expecting that there.
Dang.
Now Alpha Row pushing in on Blaze.
Where is he?
They are to the north.
Oh, yeah, but that's not it. Alpha Row... He's foxing on a Cold Bandit, a Blaze, and Blaze has more than enough airspeed to get away from that. No problem.
It looked like Alpha Row was hanging on, but he was split S-ing, and I just couldn't tell from where I was.
But we are down to a 5v5, right?
Indeed, we are.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Yep. Petkov was hiding down there in the bottom.
So, man, those 2 kills, they just snuck in there. Snuck right in there.
They definitely broke up what TAW tried to do there in the second attempt.
But what I feel like's happening now is a replay of what we saw during the In-Sky RVE match, where RVE was very closely clustered together, and In-Sky was more spread out, almost in like a bowl or a half circle formation where they were being pressed on multiple sides. And when you're pressed like that, it's really difficult to come back up from. But now, as I say that, Mustang's putting a 120 out on Squirrels, and Squirrels, I don't know, man. You're going to have trouble with that 120. You going to be able to get in the vertical? Are you notching it well enough? I don't know.
He turned and caused that missile to turn, and it broke. It lost a ton
he got
of
it into a
speed
vertical notch. That was well done. Well done, Squirrels. That was very well done. But now Sineg's in trouble. He's got a 120B. Oh, I thought it missed him, but no. It tore a hole right through his left wing. But Mustang's in here deep. He's getting it on with Alafro and Savior. But maybe not. I don't think he sees him.
Nope.
Alafro, I think, sees him.
Nope. He's turning away.
Altitude disparity's coming, but is that close enough? That ER may catch him.
And it's certainly he's in his blind spot.
It's too far away. No. It's too far away.
He's moving too quick.
He's 1,300 kilometers an hour. It's not going to catch him from that distance.
It's climbing up, Yep.
That 120B might, though. That thing, 7 kilometers. Nope. I don't know how that missed. But Mustang somehow gets into the belly of the beast and is able to get away. And now LFRO is coming in on him. And LFRO, he's in trouble. He's got a 77 coming in on him. He gets into the vertical notch, but it's too late. Just takes that 77 to the face, and there's no getting away from it. 104th is now up 5-3. Another 77 coming off from Stooge on Savior, and Savior's in a world of trouble. That's all she wrote for Savior. And 104 is now picking them apart. Petkov, 120B coming in low. Saw it hit the water right behind Petkov, and
Mogas pushing harder though on him.
Squirrels is going to eat this 70. No, he's not. He is very wisely. You better keep dumping flares. No, why'd you stop?
And it's just Petkov about to eat a 9. And that's all she wrote for TAW, guys.
104th. Again, once the door was opened, it was just a flood. And there was no stopping it.
I'll tell you what, impressive match by both teams in all 3 rounds. They brought it. They definitely came to win this today. There was no doubt about that. Props to 104 for getting it done in round 3.
Oh.
Impressive.
What a round.
And they are not far from Sochi.
Congratulations to 104th.
Sochi wins
Iron Mike, are you still here? If you're still here, can any one of your guys do an interview real quick, just so we can talk about how the whole thing went down? Couple minutes. Hell, you can do it if you want to. Couple minutes.
I'm just going to point out 104's on a winning streak when they do interviews.
Oh, is that right?
Undefeated after interview.
God, you and these damn... Sochi won. You just going to tell me? Sochi won.
Sochi did get the win on that one.
They did.
But I think we have, all jokes aside, I'm pretty sure we have flushed that out. That has
Yeah, we
zero
have.
factor. And for anyone
We definitely have.
who thinks we might be serious right now, that has zero factor.
But congratulations to 104th for taking that to TAW, winning it in commanding fashion. 5 pilots remaining. I think there's 5.
Yep.
5 pilots remaining at the end of round 3. And that
Almost
was
flawless there.
Yeah. Come on, you got to give me the flawless victory. You say that.
Flawless victory.
Thank you. You say that, and you just kind of, it's like a cliffhanger.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. Man.
Finish it.
He's already dead. Whew. So now they're going to RTB. Again, anybody, the 104th guys, you want to come in here? Give us the DL on what went down. I need to recover. I need donuts.
I'm about to order. Yeah, I'm about to order a big old pizza. That's
not a donut.
Pizza. But it's pizza.
I guess it's bread. Almost 6 hours.
Indeed.
6 hours. Man. Speaking
And
of
we
that,
brought it.
we did. We did. Speaking of that, we were talking about, I got to catch up on stuff. I got to catch up on a lot of stuff. Hold on.
Yep.
Let's watch. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so catching up on stuff before we start getting all this down. Varial drops 200 bits and says, slide me one of those F-14 modules, and there are more bits where that came from. Well, if you win, Varial, if you win the giveaway, I'll just make you feel like I rigged it so that you can give me more bits. No, guys, I really, please
Varial over here.
don't feel like you need to give us anything.
Handing out handshake.
Mr. Sunshine, thanks for the follow. Street Sharkin drops another 5 bits and says 104th love. Zweistein, thanks for the follow. Sir Waffle Raptor, that's a sweet name. Thanks for the follow. And Bullet 2501 drops another 100 bits and says 104. Oh, yeah.
Well, another excellent day of SATAL in the books, guys, and we are heading now into one of the most crucial times of year. We got, what, 2 weeks left? 3 weeks left?
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks.
2 more
week,
weeks.
and then the championship will be upon us, guys, so strap in.
Where's my mouse? There it is. I'm going to drag 100 Iron Mike down, and we are going to chit-chat, probably both about how the round went, but also about how
awesome Heapler is.
How awesome Heapler is. And sorry, guys, I'm trying to get this formation in. Oh, where'd my mouse go? It's on the wrong PC. Sorry, guys. Let's grab Iron Mike, bring him down.
Was moved to your channel.
Alex!
Hey guys,
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Man.
Great stream again.
Oh,
excellent.
I hope you guys at Heapler don't get mad at me for cursing.
Absolutely not, man.
Okay.
This is a fighter game, and
I just want to make sure I have a tendency to drop F-bombs and stuff, and I don't want Heapler back there being like, what's this guy doing?
You know, I mean, we fucking hate cursing. Yeah?
But, man,
I hope you guys enjoyed the round.
I gotta turn you up real quick. Stop moving to the wrong PC. Let me turn you up a little bit.
Can you hear me nicely? Can everybody hear me nicely?
Yeah, I just had to turn you up on my end. So, Alex, congratulations. Awesome victory for 104th. That was...
Thank you.
I was kind of a little hesitant there going into round 2.
We were too.
Oh, man.
But it's, you know, in these points, I have to say one thing, okay? TAW evolved over the past years into a very, very formidable team. And I gotta give out a shout out to TAW here. You guys are fucking amazing, yeah? And we absolutely adored fighting against you. It was an honor. But, you know, I mean, these things happen. And what you have to do then is to recompose yourself and basically get your head back into the game, forget about that loss, and basically, you know, get that stamina going again. This was really a round all the 3 rounds were about who has the better stamina, you know, who expends less missiles,
Oh, yeah.
and who is more composed in the thing. And in the second round, TAW was absolutely better composed than us, so it was an absolutely deserved win by them. But I'm very happy, of course, for my team. Now, if I can speak just as 104th Iron Mike, personally, you know, I'm very happy, of course, that the 104th won.
Oh,
Awesome.
no problem with that. But you know, you said TAW improved. I want to take that a step further, and it has been amazing to see the amount that everyone has improved. And Billy and I were talking about this originally, even just with formations, just watching both you and TAW ingress into that fight. It was amazing to see the progress that the teams have made since SATAL started in February. So
Yeah.
I just want to point that out, that it's mad props to all the teams that have participated, because it is, being a caster and being able to do this, it has been amazing to be able to see everyone's improvement from the start of this.
Absolutely, that counts for all teams, and also the 104th, you know. I mean, we had our great years before, we started fresh, we had a very bad start in SATAL, and I'm very happy, you know, that we got our composure back and basically are back in the game like that, you know. I mean, that also took effort, and I think all the other teams showed effort as well, and it really, really shows during the matches, and that's, I think, the most important thing, because no matter if you make it into the finals or not, everyone can be proud of themselves, how much they improved. And here you can see, guys, the missing man formation. I think it's delayed. It has been before, if I don't know now. But this formation, the missing man formation, goes to 104 Cadet Fallen's dad, who unfortunately passed away. So this is for him, and thank you all for seeing this.
But Hunter, Alex, what do you think? I mean, how did that match shape up for you guys? What were you guys thinking about going into it? What were you guys thinking about after the round 2 loss, when it seemed like they just kind of put you up against the railing and bent you over? I mean, what was going through your guys' minds?
You know, a lot of negativity at first. And then you, like I said, you know, you have to compartmentalize that negativity and really put it out of the way. But basically then in the third round, the response was the same that we came in with in the first round, and that is not to get ourselves boxed in. As well as, you know, keep a good composure in terms of hot-cold. And also I have to say, you know, we had Maverick doing a really brilliant GCI today. I mean, the sorting was amazing. I'm actually sorry that there isn't a recording of that. That would be really great audio, you know, for guys to listen to. But I mean, it was really heated, and it was composed at the same time, and that was very important, because we knew TAW would come in very aggressively, and we know that TAW are very good pilots. So in that sense, you know, if you have two teams who are almost the same, you know, we're on the same level, then you have to run the game of patience in a way. You have to be conservative on your missiles. I think round 1 and round 3 will show that we were a bit more conservative in that, like TAW, and the sorting in the third round on our side was a bit better than theirs. But other than that, they did a very good job.
Was there anything that you guys were concerned about coming into this match? And we'll draw this to a close. We've been going for almost 6 hours, but to finish it up, was there anything that you guys were concerned about? Was there anything that you guys were really trying to execute really well going into there as far as tactics, or is that stuff that you kind of want to keep closer to the chest and not divulge?
No, I think, you mean, you know, those tactics are visible anyway to everybody, you know. If you analyze them, then you will see what we've been doing, you know. I mean, we kept our spread, we kept our hot-cold commits, we were conservative on the missiles, and we did not want to get ourselves dragged low with TAW, because one thing we noticed with TAW is that, you know, when they go into the recommit or when they go into defense, they like to stay low. You can see they evolve their altitudes from high to low. We've observed it in previous matches, and so you know, these kind of little hints that you pick up along the way, watching other guys' matches, then you try, of course, to implement and counter then in your own style. So being high, being separated, being composed, being conservative with the missiles, and you know, trying to box them in instead of getting ourselves boxed in, which then happened in the second round, where we a little bit lost that composure.
So you guys take on SF next. Is there anything you're thinking about going into the semifinals next week?
No, we kicked their asses the last time we flew against them.
Just hoping it's a repeat of round one, huh?
Careful here. SF is a very, very good squadron, and we love them a lot. I mean, they're very good friends of ours, and I think we're looking forward to that match a lot. Last time it was SATAL 2016, I think, that we won. Yeah. Yep. They had this 60-mile spread formation that was glorious. You know, everybody was like 20 miles spread in between them, line abreast. And the last time we counted it by all being just on one side, you know, so we basically had them up on a row. You know, we could pick off one after the other. I don't think that they will do the same mistake. So yeah, I mean, with the SF, you have to be very careful because they're very good in merges, and they're very good energy fighters. You know, that means that they know how to recommit tight and get out of it tight again. So you have to be very, very careful on that close game with the SF.
Well, in closing, is there anything else you want to say, Alex, before we wrap this up?
I'll switch back to my official Alex side, and again, I would like to give a shout out from Heatblur to all of you. For those who came late, remember the F-14 Tomcat is ready for pre-order on www.heatblur.com. You can also get t-shirts and limited editions. You get bundled with a t-shirt, which is then cheaper. And also we have a crew pack up, which is an incentive for two guys, you know, to fly together. However, the keys, of course, are completely independent. So, you know, it's just an incentive to people go into the whole pilot and Rio thing. And I would like to say thank you to you, Malter and Billy. I mean, really great stream as always. I would like to say thank you to the great community. I mean, your feedback in the last week has been absolutely overwhelming, and we've put a lot into the F-14, and it has been a really, really great moment to see that feedback from the community. So from all of us at Heatblur, thank you for that.
Well, I think that's about all I got time for. And Iron Mike, both 104th and Heatblur, thanks for coming in and talking with us. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you soon. Both about the Tomcat that's soon to come out, maybe doing another giveaway. I don't know. We'll see how things shape up in the future.
We will have another giveaway probably at the finals, I would say. Do you agree, Malter? You know, the big kickoff.
If we do that, I'd probably rather do them during the runners-up game, because we'll have to see who's flying in it. We're gonna have to see how that all shakes out. I'll know more next week on how we can plan that out.
Maybe we'll do one runner-up, and maybe we'll be just so, you know, cool that we give one more at the finals.
We can see what we can do.
Yeah.
But
in any case, guys, you know, I mean, there's going to be awesome events coming up left and right with the F-14 release as well. So stay tuned for that. And during SATAL as well, we'll try to get another Heatblur dev in for another interview and talk a little bit F-14 since everybody's so interested in it.
Right.
And that's it basically. And again, from my side, again, switching back to the personal side, congratulations to TAW for an extremely great match. We are very grateful to have flown against such excellent opponents. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's about all I got. Billy, do you got anything to close up? Anything from Mustache Man?
That was awesome.
Nothing from Ned?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, Vari Quaggles. Well, Vari, thanks for the 100 bits. Says, trust me, we can work something out. Quaggles, Wingnut, TC082, Avril Sar, Juprukins, Viper Dink, Michael175, and Revo. Thanks all for the follows. Much appreciated, guys. Hopefully you guys have all enjoyed the stream. Back next week, next Saturday, 1500 Zulu for the first match. 51st versus In Sky. Then the second match at 1800 Zulu is going to be 104th versus SF. So 2 awesome matches. Billy is going to be streaming the first match by himself because I'm going to be flying. I will be back in for the second match to be casting. Not sure how we're going to orchestrate that with the stream yet, but you guys should notice a difference. So make sure you tune in next week. We'll have more stuff for the giveaways and everything, Heat Blur, all that stuff, hopefully coming for the finals week on October 27th. Same times, 1500 and 1800 Zulu. And unless you guys have anything else, that's all I got. So last call. Anybody?
I'm gonna shout out to CVW8 there because they are hollering at me in the chat right now. Ned says, "What up?"
Nothing else, Alex?
That's it, guys.
All right.
Again, just thank you. We're really, really grateful for all of your amazing feedback. And stay tuned for more SATAL awesomeness. And have a great weekend.
All right, guys. You heard the man. That's all she wrote. And I'll see you guys next week at 1500 Zulu. Until then, see you next time.
Bye-bye. Adios.